Well, it's kind of an incredible thing that we as men can be with so many other men in a setting like that, drinking beers, having a good time, whatever it is that you do, but actually be completely isolated and alone.
This is the Untamed Podcast, where only the few dare to go. We're building a community of adventurous high achievers who refuse to trade our dreams for comfortable mediocrity so that we can unleash our untamed potential. Could you be one of the untamed few? Now, your Untamed hosts, Marc, Lucas, and Joel Fritz.
Hey, Untamed few.
Hey guys, what's going on?
It's so good to be here. Beautiful setting. Joel and I hanging out here in Alabama, where he's from right now. And just talking about March Madness. Here we are,
March Madness! You guys.
So good to be in this March Madness week. And
we know we're talking to people who love basketball.
Yeah, I mean, we're just coming out of it. And the reality is we have these moments, we hang out with the guys, we're watching basketball, we're grilling, we're having a great time. And yet we walk away from these moments and we think to ourselves, I didn't necessarily feel a connection that I really wanted to feel and be able to kind of share some stuff with some guys that I maybe wanted to share.
Well, it's kind of an incredible thing that we as men can be with so many other men in a setting like that, drinking beers, having a good time, whatever it is that you do, but actually be completely isolated and alone. I would guess that many of you who are watching or listening with us right now have felt that feeling at some point, and that's exactly what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about isolation because it's such a critical issue for men to address because it's our tendency. We want to isolate when things aren't going exactly how we want them to go.
And one of the things that I heard a long time ago, and it just kind of helps me in these moments to connect a little bit more, it's a simple, spells out F.O.R.M, so F-O-R-M. The F is just, it's easy to connect with people that we want to connect with and talk about our family. Good conversations, though. We talk about our family, what's going on with our family. The O is to talk about our job, our occupation. So again, those are awesome conversations. Talk about our job, what's going on at work. And then the R is just some recreational hobbies and activities and sports that we like, March Madness. But kind of the missing ingredients a lot of times to feel a deeper connection and not feel the isolation is the M. And that's kind of the meat. That's to be able to go a little bit deeper in those meaty conversations with guys.
Yeah, and we really have a hard time with that M.
We do.
That is the layer that it's too sensitive, it's too raw. Yeah. But it reminds me of this story. Actually, I have quite a few of these because this is a very common thing for men. But I remember having the opportunity to walk in life with a few guys, and one of them in particular had something that had come between he and his wife. And so he'd done something, and I guess early on it really wouldn't have been something that would be a real marriage breaker, but he held it. He kept it. He isolated himself. He kind of went internal, and he didn't want to share it with the guys around him. He had a group of buddies, but he just didn't want to share that. And so he held it for months and then years. And then after those years went by, eventually it was really starting to eat him up. And I think many can relate to that, but it's a critical thing to recognize that because he didn't deal with it on the front end and he didn't bring that to his friends, he isolated himself, it got worse and worse and worse, almost like an infection that festered. Well, finally, he did share that with his group of guys. And when he shared it, what a good friends do, they point out that he needed to do something about it. So he took action, and it wasn't easy at that point. It was a big embarrassment for him. And but at the same time, finally, he started cleaning out that wound and doing something about it. So in order to get breakthrough, and that's one of the things that's been on Marc and I's heart recently, is thinking about guys and breakthrough. It's our second step in the untamings. It's the second untamings, getting breakthrough. Yeah. Once we've awakened to certain realities, then we want to find breakthrough. And in that story, that person did get breakthrough. But after they knew what was going on, reconciled that, then they went to their group of guys and they actually shared with them. Then they said, hey, look, you've got to go and do this. And they did that, but then they had the opportunity to get breakthrough.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like you hear these moments and you ask yourself these questions like you are right now. Am I feeling to some degree isolated? And I think we all wrestle with these questions, and it's a good question for you to be wrestling with right now. And really honestly ask yourself that question, and then you ask yourself next, what's the step of integration? What are the action steps that I can take now at this point? And we've got some thoughts on some action steps for you to take. That first one would be simple one, easy one, low bar of entry, but it's beautiful, to join our Facebook group.
That's a
first step because we're creating community groups. We're creating tribe, a beautiful tribe for the few out of that Facebook group. The second step is to really identify who is the guy that's in your life right now that you feel like you can kind of test the water and test the waters in this conversation to say, you know what? I can be intentional on the golf course, at a lunch, an upcoming lunch, to be able to share a dream. It could be a positive, a win, but to be able to go a little bit deeper in that conversation, kind of that meat conversation, to be able to have that conversation with this person you've identified. And then just step back and see how they respond.
Yeah.
We hope that they respond favorably. If not, that's okay. Then just kind of step back, let the conversation flow the way it flows, and then navigate that conversation again at a future later date. If he responds well, then great. Now you have a mutual back and forth where he's going to be more open to trust you, to share some dreams and passions, things he might be struggling with you. And now you've got a beautiful, meaty, deeper relationship where you feel less isolated. And then really that last step is just to know that in this process, we're creating groups. We were never meant to do life alone, and we're creating groups. And we're excited to be able to connect with you more and more to get you, whether it's an adventure retreat, a group, some cohorts that we're starting to dream about right now, putting together. But we were not meant to do life alone. We want to have meaty conversations with the untamed few.
Yeah, it's really at the essence of what we're trying to accomplish, Mark, is we're trying to bring guys together so that they don't go isolate, stay away, not deal with critical issues in their life, in our lives. And so we're just inviting you into that, and we hope that you've enjoyed this, that it provided some value. But hey, glad to be with you. Looking forward to next time.
We'll see you soon.
If this episode sparked something in you, please subscribe and even share it with someone who's ready to take their life to the next level. We're always on the hunt for men who are looking to become untamed and release their untamed potential. Also, if you found value in this conversation, then please rate the podcast and leave a comment. It makes a huge impact in building our community. We'll see you next time when the adventure continues, or maybe when yours begins.